Hi everyone. So in today's video, we'll set up SNS, SQS, and Lambda. So SNS, SQS with Lambda all together form one of the best pub sub mechanisms in cloud. So let's start off with this video. So initially, please get your AWS started up. And what will we do first is we'll first create a Lambda function. The Lambda function will subscribe to a topic, and then the Lambda function will publish a message to a topic. And then we'll set up SQS with SNS, and then we'll poll messages from the SQS in the end. So in this way, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to send email notifications, and we'll be able to push our messages to SQS as well. So let's get started with this. So once I'll head to my AWS, I'll create a new function. Maybe this function can be test YouTube subscribe, something like this. And with the subscribe note here, I would also ask you viewers to please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And then I'll set up the required permissions. So these are my permissions, and I'll create the function. So now this is my function, and I have the code ready with me over here. I shall quickly paste it here. So I have my code. So basically, it's a Node.js function where I'll send my email and topic ARN. So where does this topic ARN come? So for that, let's open SNS. So SNS is basically a topic that we'll create, and then we'll subscribe to that topic. So that's how it will work. So I'll create a standard topic, call it YouTube topic, something like this. And let's keep everything default. Create topic. So once this topic is created, I'll copy its ARN, and I will head back to my Lambda function, and I shall paste the ARN here. And then email is what I will send as an event object. So I'll deploy this. And then I have a temporary email over here. I'll copy this and then call this a test event. And then I'll pass my email. And then now, so what will happen is I have a topic with me. And then what I can do is I can create a subscription over here. And then if I publish a message, the subscription that's created will receive the message. That's all SNS basically is. But I am trying to automate this process with a Lambda function. So now that I have passed my email over here, let me just quickly hit on test. And let's see. And then it says subscription request sent. So please check email to confirm. Now, if I head back to my temporary email and if I refresh, I should get an email over here saying requesting to confirm. So that's how, and here we go. So here is the email. It's asking for confirmation subscription. So I shall confirm this, and then I get confirmation successful. So that's that. Now, what's happened is I created a Lambda function and I have subscribed to that topic. Now, if I head back to my topics and if I do a quick refresh, I should be able to see, yep, this user is subscribed and the status is confirmed. So if the user does not confirm the subscription, then here the status will be pending. So that's how this is. And now that we have we have the user set up like this. Now what we'll do is we'll publish a message to that topic. So we'll head back to functions and then maybe create a new Lambda function, call this test YouTube publish. And then this will be, and then I'll just quickly give the required permissions. So you can set up your IAM role accordingly. I have created a simple IAM role that has access to everything. Obviously, that's not the best practice. So now the second Lambda function, I have the code ready. So what this Lambda function does is we'll send a message and we'll use the sns.publish method to publish to that message. So again, heading back to the ARN, we'll copy this ARN and then we shall paste it here. And now we shall just pass a simple message. So first, let me deploy this. And the event is expecting message. And then message I'll say is, hey, how are you? Then I'll save this. And then let me test this. So the Lambda function returns 200 status code, good news, with a body saying message has been published to the topic. So what's happened is I was able to, here is my topic, and I was able to send a message to the subscribers of this topic. Now, if I head back to my temp email, as you can see that I received the latest notification and it says, hey, how are you? So like that, you can send emails. So that's how SNS works. SNS and Lambda function. That's how SNS and Lambda function works. So we finished this. Now let us set up SQS. So when SQS comes into the picture, even before that, why does SQS come into the picture? So simple queue service, what this basically does is it decouples your system. So it's like so in our situation here, we just have a single subscriber. What if there are multiple emails and multiple emails are subscribed to a single topic? Then what will happen is while publishing messages, what will happen is it will go to all of them. So then what we need to do is we need to set it up with a queue. So let me create a simple queue here, a standard queue, and then I'll call it YouTube test queue, and then everything basic. No need to change anything for now. And then I shall create the queue. So now we have a queue over here. And what we'll do is we'll head back to our topic. So what will happen is we have to create another subscription. This time, this subscription we'll create it manually from here. And I'm sure there's a way to subscribe this SQS to SNS via Lambda function as well. So we'll head to SNS, create subscription, and then we select the protocol, Amazon SQS, select which one, and we just created YouTube test queue. And then so enable raw message delete. So what happens is when a queue receives a message, it has a huge JSON structure. So when you click on enable raw message delivery, then the message that we are concerned with, only that will come, not the whole thing. So I'll create subscription, and the subscription is created. So now if I head back to the topic, now we have two subscribers. One is an SQS queue and the other is the old email. So now the thing over here is, according to AWS documentation as well, we were able to set up the queue and SNS. But what happens is we need to edit the policy, access policy in the SQS, so that we give permission to SNS topic to send messages to SQS queue. So that's how this works. So I'll head back to my queue, and then I'll head to the queue and just quick refresh. Here's my queue. Yeah. And now we can go to access policy, and we have to edit this access policy. So we can edit the access policy here. Amazon's documentation is like really good for AWS. So we'll head back to this and paste this here. So what is it expecting? It's basically expecting the source ARN, which is from the topic. We head back to our topic. This is the topic's ARN. And then we paste it here. And it's expecting the ARN of the queue as well. So I'll open the queue in another tab. And here is our queue. In this queue, we'll have the ARN. So we'll copy this ARN. Don't copy the URL, copy the ARN. So we'll head back to our policy and we'll paste the queue here. And then once this is done, let's save it. So once we save this, what happens is you can now send and receive messages. So that was successful. Now I'll head back to the queue, and here's our queue. And now what we'll do is, so now basically the topic, we have two subscribers. One is the SQS and the other is the email. I'll send another message, and this time the message will be received by the queue as well. Thanks for subscribing. I guess the spelling was wrong. Anyways, so test and then message published to topic. Awesome. So we'll head back to the topic and first email. Let's check out our email. We received a new notification. We'll head over here. Thanks for subscribing. Awesome. And now we'll head to our queue, and then we go to queue. So here you go. And so even in the queue, you can see that the subscription is SNS. So there's an SNS subscription. Now to so what is the concept here is poll messages from SQS. It's called poll messages. You will get the messages from SQS. So even to check that out, you have to head to send and receive messages. And then here you can send messages manually to the queue. And if you head down, here there is poll for messages. Click on that, the polling process begins. And here we say, here we get the message that's polled. If I click on this, we get the body. Thanks for subscribing. Now, because in the queue, I had enabled raw message delivery, that's why we just directly got the message. Or else we would have got a huge JSON body with this message as well. So, yep, that's that. And that's how you set up SNS, SQS, and Lambda. So it starts off with the Lambda function, then goes to the SNS, then goes to the SQS. Now, over here, you can think of your architecture design where if you want to send note, so consider this as a notifications module in any project. So how you can think about this is from the front end UI, the user will first you will receive user's email. So that's how we go about. And then after receiving user's email, we ask the user to subscribe to a topic. And then what we'll do is we'll publish message to the topic. And then what will happen is, just like in this scenario over here, we have the email. What we'll do is we'll send the email. So when you publish a message to the topic, an email is sent. Now, why does SQS come into the picture then? First of all, it's to decouple. It's perfect for microservices architecture. That's all microservice architecture is about. It's about decoupling the architecture. And in SQS, what we'll do is we will from the SNS, we'll first create the SQS and then subscribe it to the SNS. And then what will happen is SNS to SQS, and then we'll bring it back to the Lambda function. So there will be a new Lambda function that we'll create. And maybe from here, you can push the data into DynamoDB. So what's happening is from SQS, we shall poll the data. And the polling process, what I showed just now was through the AWS console by pressing this button. But you can create a Lambda function as well to poll. And then once you receive the message, you can store it in a DynamoDB. And maybe you can call this DynamoDB as the notifications table. So this is how you can store notifications in a table. So if you do that, you can you can get the notifications and then you can render it in the UI. So that's how you can create a full stack model for a notification architecture. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you and have a nice day.